So when we got to Bali, the very first Airbnb we stayed in, the host's name was Wayan. The first restaurant we ate at was Cafe Wayan, and that was started by a lovely lady named Wayan. When we went to market and bought our first overpriced water, the man who handed us that water's name was Wayan. And then we stayed with a man whose name was Putu. Putu, of course, loosely has the same meaning as Wayan. Welcome to another Duty Free Adventures. Today we're talking about Balinese names. It's confusing to outsiders, especially considering it's an island of people without last names. Even so, the Balinese have a very cool and interesting naming system. Now, it's not that thousands of people all took a look at their infants and said, "Don't you think he looks like a Wayan?" No, in fact, they're more predestined based on birth order. In the most common caste, there are basically only 4 Balinese names. Compare this to around 4,000 to 2 million English names depending on your source. The firstborn is named Wayan. The second child is named Made. The third is Yomen. And the fourth is Ketut. Wayan comes from the word which means eldest. Made comes from the word that means middle. And Yomen comes from the word meaning end. But there are 4 names, so why would the third one translate to end? Balinese tradition dictates that 3 children is just about the ideal number, and after that, you should learn not to have any more kids. But also, historically, birth control, especially herbal birth control, doesn't work that well. So you end up with more than 3 children. Ketut is the 4th born, which is considered a bonus child. Ketut comes from a word referring to the small banana at the outer edge of your banana pile. So because every family has a firstborn and most of them are named Wayan, that explains why my cell phone is filled with Wayans. But there's also more to the story. What happens if you go beyond 4 children? The naming convention starts again, and the 5th child is named Wayan Bali, which means Wayan again. A roommate we had in Bali described his encounter with a family's 3rd Made. Now, of course, over time there grew variants of the tradition, Putu and Kadak and Komeng. And of course, when we talk about titles and nicknames, this gets a lot more complicated pretty quick. But that right there is the bare bone basics of the Balinese naming convention. I hope you found it as cool and interesting as I did. If you like this video, then like it. And if you want to see more cool tidbits from around the world, subscribe. Alright, have a good one.